Hey, what's going on, people? It's GunSurvivor from NextGenTactics, and we're doing Jungle Survival Part 2. Different game, same sort of tactics, and you'll see. And the reason why I'm doing this, I'll move away from basic strategies later on and just do more entertaining things, something a little bit crazier, agency style stuff, which is handguns only. But for now, this is what we're showing. So I'm using the Commando, same loadout attachments, I should say, as the M16, which is red dot and silencer. And I do like using assault rifles on jungle. Now, if you watched the previous video where I was using the M16, I use the exact same strategy. When I come across that bridge, I throw stun or concussion and some sort of lethal grenade like a Semtex or a frag. And this is it's a huge point, especially the fact that I don't have an SMG. I want to have that ability to test it. Usually, I mean, I'll throw the concussion to sort of slow them down, and then use the frag to actually kill them so they don't run away. But I can also get hit detections on that, so I know if they're there, and I can sort of prepare myself for the onslaught. And I did this last round too as well, and I didn't actually get a kill there, but this is what I'm telling you. Before you go down this choke point, it's not a bad idea to go up on that little hut there overlooking the riverbed or whatever, and not to pick off people on there or look across for snipers, although you have to check that, because if there's a sniper there, you're going to end up getting killed. But I use it to clear out the end here. I use it to clear out to see if anyone's sort of perched up in that area there looking and sort of basically holding down that choke point on the far end, so that if I'm coming around the side there, they're just going to take me out, because it's very difficult to see those people. So when you use that midpoint there where I spawned or whatever, and then go from that point, it makes it a hell of a lot easier to actually make your way around this area here, because you've at least cleared it out, and it deters them from going in there. So if you get a kill, then you don't have to worry. Again, this is a very active area here. A lot of people want to try and come through here. Other than having that hut in the middle. Now watch this. This is what I'm telling you about Dolphin Diving and watching out on this. If those guys were smart, they would be throwing a Semtex there. You must pay attention to your map. You must pay attention to where, like the heads-up map or whatever. You need to pay attention to where your teammates are. Where your teammates, if your teammates are all like behind you, the enemy is in front. And those guys were just rushing forward, knowing that basically from their own map that their entire team was on that side. Logically, they have to assume that there's someone like myself on the other side of the bridge holding it down. And it was very, very foolish of them to just run across. I would never do that, and that's why I dolphin dive across that bridge as well. It is dangerous. I don't like using that bridge. I try to avoid it. I cross it once, maybe twice in a little span of time. I don't like using it too often, though. And I see my teammate there, but I'm still observing. I'm trying to watch where my teammates are, because the spawn system in this is, as I've said before, very dynamic, and it changes out quite a bit. So it's not necessarily that the entire team's gonna start spawning in one area. They did a good job. As far as I'm concerned, they did a good job in deathmatch. I know it seems a little randomized, but it prevents from spawn killing, and I think that's a very, very good element of balancing in these games that was lacking from Modern Warfare 2. Now, I think... let me just take a look here. I was thinking of the last game. There was a guy was camping like right on the wall. Oh yeah, that was the last game. It was like the most stupid spot to camp I've ever seen in my life. Now you notice what I'm doing here. I'm still moving around the map, but I'm holding what I call tactical positions. You're gonna camp, kill, move, and then you move on. I mean, you don't want to stay in there, and the reason why you don't want to stay in one spot is because you have to constantly be watching your teammates. Now, there we go. Once you have dogs or even gunship in this, it's pretty much over. That's kind of, tips the scales and things get really messed up. And as I said before, once those dogs are out, not so much with the gunship because you're controlling it, but once the dogs are unleashed, just go. Friggin' just run and just blast around the map, because those dogs, they're going to be preoccupied with them. They are a one-bite kill, and therefore extremely dangerous. Do I kill these guys? Oh, yeah, there we go. So you want... I think it was the dogs, though, that got him. But anyway, once that's happening... Oh, there's my one death. I think I died once, but the dogs just tear them up and destroy them. You keep these things in mind. in Deathmatch, it's not like Modern Warfare 2. You cannot be lazy in this map, in this game type at all. Oh, I think I get a double here. Now, see, though, this is one of the first times. I think because my entire team was on the other side, they kind of did a group spawning there. But you'll notice even when you're playing Deathmatch that you typically spawn in sort of almost random areas, and there's not going to be many teammates. There'll be teammates somewhat around the area, but sometimes you'll spawn like right near the enemy. And that's because the spawn system that they've designed for Deathmatch is a little more dynamic, and I think it's good. Sometimes it screws you over, but for the most part, it stops that spawn killing. So remember choke points. Up here is a big one, but you need to, it's not just watching choke points or knowing where they are. You need to observe where your team is. Where your team is going to dictate, for the most part, where the enemy is going to pop up. So that's it. So 29-1, same thing. And believe me, when you do these strategies, when you keep these things in mind, you will become more consistent. These aren't just random games. Yeah, they're, you know, better high kill death ratio because it's more entertaining. But for the most part, you know, I usually end up on top using the same strategy. And you guys can too. Just keep those tips in mind. Peace. Get the latest updates and stay in touch with the NGT community with their all-new Facebook application. Check the description of the video for details.